Hi guys, today we'll learn about 4 differences between var, let and const along with example. So yeah, let's get started. No, okay, so yeah, here's how this video will flow. First I'll tell you the first difference, then give you the respective example, and I'll do the same for second, third and fourth difference, and finally I'll summarize all these differences in a table. Okay, so yeah, that's how our video is gonna flow. Let's remove all this. Okay, so first difference is scope. Var is globally or functionally scoped. On the other hand, let and const are what? Are block scoped. So what do you mean, what do I mean when I say block scoped and globally or functionally scoped? Let me show you with an example, because yeah, that's the good part about coding. We can understand by examples, though, like yeah, doesn't matter how much abstract a concept is, you can make someone understand the concept better by giving him an example instantly. So yeah, here we go. Let's have a function. Function testing, and in that function let's have a is men is equals to true, it's a boolean, and then have an if. Okay, then let's have an if is man, then do something. No, so we don't even need this. If is true, do if true, do something. Do what? Do something. Now I'll show you how var works. Var a is equals to 5. Okay, and I'll, what do you think if I console log this a here? What do you think I'll get in console? Now I have to invoke the function also, no? So let's do that. Testing, and yes, the function is being invoked, and you see I got 5 here. Why? Because var is globally or functionally scoped. So although I declare this 5 inside this if block, I can access it throughout the function, okay, throughout the testing function. Doesn't matter if this function has like 200, 2000 or 20,000 line, I can access this a throughout the function. Okay, so yeah, that's why we say that var is functionally or globally scoped. Okay, now let's see how let works in this similar scenario. I'll have let a is equals to 5. See, we got reference error, a is not defined, but you might say that this is defined here. Yes, this is defined inside a block. Okay, and hence outside the block we cannot access a. So that's why we say let is block scoped. Let and const are block scoped. Block scope means this may be a if block, or this may be a for loop, or any other for of or for if, for each, or any other loop. No, the crust of what I am saying is let is block scoped and const is also block scope. That is why we are not able to access it outside of its scope. Now if we do this console.log here you can see that, you can see 5 being printed here, no? So yeah, because it is the console.log that we did this time is inside this if block. Okay, so yes, it's similar for const also. Const is also block scope. So that's the first difference that we are done with. The second difference is, what was the second difference? Actually I made notes yesterday. Although I knew about these topics, in order to teach you have to have some somewhat, you have to have some structure. In order, like in order to teach, you have to have some structure to your notes, no? Things should be organized. So that's why this is the first point that I just taught you with example. The second one is, can be redeclared within, okay, var can be redeclared within its scope, let cannot be redeclared within its scope, and const cannot be redeclared within its scope. Okay, so what does that line mean? Okay, that means if I say var a is equals to 5, here I declared it as well as initialized it. Okay, this is called known as declaration, and this is known as initialization, and I can do both in one line. Okay, I am doing. So yeah, we call this whole, we also call this, like if this is till here only, we call it a declaration, and if it is till here also, in general conversation we call this also declaration, although it is declaration and initialization combined. Okay, so yeah, now let's get to the point which I want you to understand. Okay, so it says var can be redeclared, so it means within its scope, because obviously outside the scope you can redeclare it, but the point is, can you redeclare a variable within its scope? And the answer is yes, we can, using var. So it is var's scope, and let's see, here I redeclared it. Now let me do console.log a, and see we got 7 here. So yeah, var can be redeclared. This is also var's scope, no, because it is present all over the function. It is also var's scope, and yeah, so the crux of the matter is var can be redeclared within its scope without any issues. Now let's see how let works in this same scenario. Okay, let's have let here. So if I declare let here it can be declared again, because it is not its scope. Let's scope is only within this block, within only this block. So let's see whether we can declare let within its scope or not, because outside its scope we can declare any variable we want, whether it is var, whether it is let, whether it is const. Okay, but the point is, can we declare within its scope? So let's see, let a is equals to 7. No, we got error. And what is the error? Identifier a has already been declared. So what we learned, we cannot declare let within its scope. And what happens with const? Yes, you cannot do it with const also. Yeah, you cannot declare a const within its scope. So that's the second point. Now let's get to the third one. What was the third point? Declaration done. Okay, the third point says var can be declared without initialization, and let says can be declared without initialization, and const says must be initialized at the time of declaration. Okay, so just a minute ago I told you the difference between declaration and initialization. Okay, So what this point says is, what you can do is you can do this. Okay, now since you have declared a var variable, that is a, you can initialize it at a later at any point within its scope. No, you can do this. No, a is equals to 5, you can initialize it later. Okay, no issues. And let me just do console.log. Why, I don't know why, just I did it. Okay, so yeah, and you can do the same with let. You can declare no, you can see there is no error. Okay, you can declare let and afterwards you can initialize it. No, you can do this with let also. And how you are able to do this? Because when you declare a variable, whether using let or var without initialization, by default the variable, the value assigned to it is undefined. Let me show you. See, the value assigned to it is undefined. No, since we have not initialized a, the value defined is the value stored in a is undefined. Okay, now like think with logic. Why we can't do it with const? We cannot do it with const because let's say I have const a. Okay, it says you have to declare as well as initialize const in a single line. Okay, otherwise it will throw an error. You have to do this. No, see, there is no error here, but if you do this there will be an error. Okay, why? Because here const is by default undefined, and later you guys may again assign it a value, initialize it with a value. That's why it's kind of inbuilt in JavaScript that you cannot do declaration and initialization of const at different places. No, because const by definition is constant. So if here its a's value is undefined and you guys later will assign it a value 5, it's not quite right. No, so yeah, so JavaScript does, what JavaScript does is you have to initialize as well as declare const in a single line. So yeah, that's the third difference. Let's see what's the fourth one. This is the third difference. Fourth is var can be updated, let can be updated, and const cannot be updated. So you guys must be familiar with this, but again let me show you. Since const is by definition constant, you cannot update it. So that's kind of logical, no? So but still let me show you example, since I told you at the start of the video that I'll give you example for each and every case. So let me do just that. So what I was saying is, yes, you can see a is 5. Now you can do a is 7, then you can do a is 10, and whatever the last value of a is will be stored in a. You can do this. No issues. No errors, no issues. These are the previous errors. So yeah, no issues. Okay, you can do the same with let also. Again, no problem, you can do this. But in case of const, since const is by definition constant, obviously you cannot do this. See what it says, a is read only, you cannot change its value, bro. So yeah, these are the 4 differences that I wanted to show you, and let me just summarize all. So here are all the differences. First is var is globally or functionally scoped, and let and const are block scoped. Okay, so in whichever block they are being declared, they can be used only within that block. No, outside that block you cannot access that variable. Second is var can be redeclared within its scope. Okay, as you saw. let cannot be redeclared within its scope, and const also cannot be redeclared within its scope. Third one is var can be declared without initialization. You saw in the example, first we declare like let a, then we initialize it a equals to 5. So first we did declaration, then we did initialization, and we can do this in case of var as well as in case of let. But in case of const, we have to do declaration as well as initialization in a single line. Okay, we cannot do it separately. The fourth point is var can be updated, let can be updated, and obviously since const is a constant, it cannot be updated. So yeah, that's all for today's video. You guys have been awesome. Bye.